Welcome back to 2 miles per gallon. I'm Gage, and today we have what is quite possibly the best indoor winter car that you could buy. Now, I won't lie, this is probably my third time trying to record this video. The first time I had this entire unboxing done, which is why this guy is completely unboxed and this guy is kind of just half put together. However, I don't know what happened. All that video footage got corrupted or it's just gone. I couldn't find it on any of my SD cards. So we're gonna try this for the third time and see if we can get it done and jump right into it. Now, what are the best winter indoor RC cars that you could buy today? For me personally, I'd have to go with the Losi Micro Buggy and Micro Truggy. They are just too freaking perfect. And that is what we have here today that we're gonna be going over and seeing what all you get with it, as well as building a track, going over the specs, racing them, so on and so forth, all the works. Now, the first one that we're gonna look at is gonna be the Truggy version. This is a 1/28 scale, two-wheel drive stadium truck, and of course it comes ready to run. Now, that includes battery, charger, transmitter, receiver, all the electronics, and of course, the car itself. Looking at some of the specs here, we have a 25+ minute run time. Now again, because I've opened these and I've run these before, I've actually gotten just under an hour, depending on what power setting you're sitting on. This is gonna have the TLR inspired design with an aluminum chassis, and we will go over that, and then a 13 mph top speed, and it is a brushed motor inside of both of these. Now, there are two different colorway options that you can get, and we went ahead and we got the white and green one. There is a silver and purple one, which looks pretty damn good. However, we got this guy. Here's a better look at some of the specs. You can pause it if you would like to. We're not gonna go that far into it. Bringing over the buggy here. Again, we already have it unboxed, but this is what it looks like. It's definitely slimmer than the Truggy. Now, the buggy is actually a 1/24 scale two-wheel drive buggy. Again, it is a brushed motor, ready to run, 20-minute run time. Comes with everything that the Truggy comes with, just in a different body. As far as colorways go, we got it in the white and green, just like the Truggy. And again, you can get this in the silver and purple as well. Those are your only two options for both of these vehicles. More tech and spec info on the back of the box, just like the Truggy. Again, you can pause it and read it if you would like. Because we already have the buggy opened and ready to go, strictly because I don't know where the interior cardboard is for this guy, we're gonna set him aside. We'll go over him next. However, I do want to knock out the unboxing of the Truggy and show y'all what all you get inside of this packaging. The entire thing should just slide out, and then it'll be zip tied into place. However, again, because I've opened these, mine are not. Side by side, they're not too different. Again, the Truggy is a 1/28, the buggy is a 1/24 scale. Now, lengthwise, there's definitely some difference there. And then as far as width goes, they're almost the exact same. And then as far as height, obviously the buggy is gonna be slightly shorter than the Truggy. Not by much, but it's there. Now, diving further into the Truggy, this is that aluminum chassis that they mentioned. Taking off the body, I'm not a huge fan of. It's this Velcro that's underneath, and it takes quite a bit of force, but then it's just on a hinge mechanism on the back. Super easy to access everything. Everything is right here in front of you, ready to go. Super, super tiny brushed motor there in the back. Now, to get the battery out, I cannot remember if the batteries come already inside of the vehicles. I don't believe that they do. But inside you're gonna get a Spectrum 350 milliamp 2S battery, 30C, 7.4 volts. And when plugging this in, it'll just kind of slide straight into place here. Then you take this door, if I can get it, and it'll kind of just cinch down just like that. Now, the only thing that I don't like with this thing at all is its wire management. They're kind of just thrown in here. And when you go to close the body, these wires especially sometimes will be in the way and then they start sticking out. So be mindful of that. We don't want to pinch any wires. We don't want to chop anything off. Looking at the suspension that you get with the Truggy, you're gonna have what looks to be a 2-link suspension, both front and rear, independent suspension, and again, both front and rear. And there's quite a bit of travel for how small these things are. There is super amount of travel. Suspension feels absolutely phenomenal. You do have aluminum cased oil-filled shocks on each corner. I don't know what the oil weight that they're running is, however, it looks fantastic. Now, your rear drive shafts are going to be what looks to be aluminum. No, they're plastic. They are absolutely plastic. I think the only thing that is aluminum on this thing, the shock housings as well as the chassis. Other than that, everything else seems to be plastic. Diving back into the box here, everything that you get is going to be tucked up underneath here, starting with the transmitter. Super generic. This is going to be an SLT2 from Spectrum. You're going to have your steering rate, steering trim. On the back side, you're going to have your throttle limiter and then your steering rate. This runs on, I believe it was 4 AA's. Yes, 4 AA's. It doesn't feel the best, however, for what these things are, it is quite nice compared to some other RC cars that I've gotten that are a lot nicer than these. You're also going to have a USB-A to USB-C charger here that just kind of plugs into the balancing port of the battery. Plug it into a wall. This light will start off orange, and then once it goes green, your battery will be charged and ready to go. Also in the kit, you have your tools to work on it. You get a nice sticker and then your instruction and info booklet, as well as an illustrated parts breakdown of everything here. Not too bad. Everything that you are going to be getting with the Truggy is going to be the exact same for the buggy. Every part, every manual, of course, other than the booklets, those are going to be pertaining to the individual vehicle that you buy. However, other than that, that is it. That is all to go over. Now, the buggy itself is just like the Truggy. Again, just a slightly longer chassis, oil-filled aluminum shocks on each corner, 2-wheel drive, slightly different front tires. I believe these are carpet tires, if I'm not mistaken. And the tires themselves, I can't tell if there's foam on the inside or not. It almost feels like there is, but there's not at the same time. And if there is, it is super thin. Now the Truggy tires definitely have a little bit of foam in there. Kind of soften it up a little bit. As far as weight goes, the buggy actually feels a little bit heavier. Now, to open this guy up is the exact same Velcro in the rear. However, instead of being on a hinged access point, you just kind of pull that front lip out and then you have access to all of the internals. Now, with that being said, we have one last thing to do, and that is to get a track set up. Now, I have an idea of how I'm going to do that. And I kind of cheated a little bit. In the corner there, I already built it because, again, I've tried to record this video multiple times. However, again, footage is gone and corrupted. I don't know where it went. So we'll get the track set up and built, and I will explain everything over there. But before we do that, let's get a look at both of these while they're on. All right, we got the car on. We're gonna start with the buggy here, and we are going to actually turn down our throttle limiter. Then, actually, you know what? We'll keep it at 100. Let's see how she does. Oh, tiny bit of ballooning there. Now again, 2-wheel drive kind of sucks, but I think they'll still be pretty fun. Now, as far as steering goes, super fast actually. That's kind of insane, holy crap. For how tiny this is, that is insane steering. I can't get over this, dude. This is gonna be so much fun. Whoa, whoa. Oh, does like a little burnout. Forward and reverse both work. Ooh, goodness. Now, let's check out the Truggy. For both vehicles, it is just as simple as popping off the body, if I can get to it, and then on top of the ESC here, there's a button. You'll hold that, And then you should get the little tiny red light letting you know that it is on. It made noise. We're gonna close the body, then we'll start with steering. Oh, all right. That's not bad either. Try and hold it down a little bit. Oh, that's plenty of power. Check this guy out. What are we on here? Oh, we're on 50, okay. Is it just me, or does the Truggy sound a little bit faster? Now, both of these batteries are fully charged. You can see that ballooning effect happening. This thing has some freaking power. Now, because we were running, I'm gonna go top off both of these batteries. We're gonna get them on the track, go over the track, and go from there, see how they perform, put them up against each other, get some times in, and see how it goes. So, without further ado, I'll see you over there. We have all of the track pieces laid out. And boy, oh boy, is there a lot of them. And I have the lights set up so we can better see. It is quite a gloomy day and the lighting is terrible. However, we have so much stuff that we've made here. Everything from jumps, large jumps. We have a tabletop there, corner pieces, straights, and then a couple blank ones. And they were super, super easy to make. Gosh, I want to say they were 20 bucks for a pack of 6 of these 4 square foot tiles. And all I did was I took the siding off, and on the straights or the corners, if I wanted to make a sidewall, I kind of glued them up. I wish I would have glued them down, but it's not too big of a deal. The cars just kind of get stuck in here, as I'm sure you'll see. The tabletop, I just kind of cut a bunch of squares out, made those. Blanks are blank. And then with the jumps, I just cut out the little slits, propped them up as high as I wanted to go, and with some of the scrap pieces that I had, I made little lips that they kind of sit on, and that's what props them up. And then you can kind of see it a little better here with the larger ones, where they just kind of slope up. And then I gave it a little white outline, because all the gray against itself is really hard to see what jumps are where. So with all of this laid out, we need to put together the track, and what's really cool about this, there are almost endless styles of tracks or layouts that you can make, and it is gonna be freaking awesome. Now, I've built quite a few so far, and we just gotta go back through and hope that we can kind of redo it. I don't know how much space I'm gonna end up taking up. However, getting through all of this is gonna take a little while, so we're gonna jump and hopefully we can get it done. Trigger over here is living it up. All right, so with that being said, we just need to put together all these pieces in hopes that we can get some form of layout done. I might have to shift a little bit of the furniture around to get this stuff to fit. Oh man, I'm too excited. Let's just get into it. So far, this is what we have. It is not terrible, not too technical. I just wanted to get really this big jump in to see how this would do. This one's new, so I'm quite curious. However, the rest of it pretty open. I should be able to get quite a bit of speed. We got some whoops here, a jump to a flat, a couple of left turns here, and then of course this big jump. And then if you happen to miss, there's a tabletop here that's gonna save you. So, now that it's all laid out, we have one thing left to do, and that's to run it in hopes that we can get some form of a decent lap time. Now, holy crap, it is dark. We need to grab these guys, which have been charging. They should be good, absolutely. Oh, perfect. Now, we're gonna grab these guys, get them on the track, and start running. Because this thing is so big, it is actually really, really hard to get into frame. However, I think we got it down now. Oh goodness. It is gonna take me a minute to try and get used to this thing again. Oh. Well, there goes that. we can almost clear that jump. God. Oh, there we go. Ooh, now we're getting it. Goodness, that landing is harsh. Oh, I flipped. These things are a lot harder to control with how high I have the steering rate turned up. All right, we got a couple lap times with the buggy in. We're gonna try the truggy and see if that handles a little bit different just because of that shorter wheelbase. So we're gonna swap over, see how that goes. I'd have to say that that is the most fun that I've had with any indoor RC car ever, and the track made it 10 times better. We slowly started to pick it up towards the end there, but it was definitely a rough start. These little things are nimble as hell when you have that turning door rate all the way up. They freaking zip around. Now the buggy is definitely faster than the truggy. While the truggy was at 100% power, this thing was only 75% power, and this barely kept up. I don't know if it's maybe a battery thing, but they were both fully charged, so the buggy is definitely quicker. However, the truck with the shorter wheelbase, it is somehow a little bit easier to control. I have both dual rates set at close to the exact same. The buggy is just turned up a little bit more. I don't know if y'all can maybe see that. However, they're both incredibly fun in their own way. The truggy is slightly more maneuverable in the air, a little bit more controlled. It floats a little bit better. The buggy is nose heavy as hell. I don't know what it is, but you gotta, maybe it's tail heavy. It dove down quite a bit. I know that. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the way that I was driving. I was able to kind of level it out, gassing it through the entirety of the jump. However, they're both fun. Like I said, these are incredible, incredible RC cars with how small they are. Holy crap. And I can't get over the suspension. That is insane. They both have wild, wild suspension. Now, with that being said, I hope that you guys have enjoyed. Now, we have big plans with these things on the way, but I won't spoil that just yet. Now, again, I hope that you guys enjoyed. And until next time, peace out.